I want to celebrate something before we begin today's lesson. I'm so proud of the ways you're growing so quickly as writers. You may not realize it, but you've already come to understand something critical in the life of a writer. Do you know what that is? Writers are incredibly brave people. They take risks each time they put their pen to paper and tell a story. I think you're coming to realize that as you make decisions about which small moments to choose as topics for your personal narratives, there is tremendous payoff in those moments of strong emotion and struggle and profound realization. It isn't always easy to revisit those kinds of tense life moments, but you are figuring out that it is worth it. In my eyes and the eyes of your writing community, that makes you brave. This makes me think of it's time to turn up the level of our work even further so that the drafts you write get better and better each day. As writers of true stories, you already know how important it is to write from inside the story moment, telling the story as it unfolds. But today I want to teach you that writers are especially careful about telling the details of the story exactly the way the narrator perceived them in the moment. When people talk about point of view, they're talking about the way the narrator tells the story through his or her eyes and other senses. The details in the scene need to be the ones that the narrator can take notice of, otherwise they don't belong there. When I think about writing inside a point of view, I always think back to when I was writing about changing my squirmy baby sister's diaper. At that moment, our father walked through the door with a large box. I wanted to run over to help open the box, but of course I couldn't leave my sister half diapered on the changing table. At first, I wrote my story like this. I was still at the changing table. My sister squirmed beneath me when my dad put the box on the kitchen table and then, peeling off a long strip of tape and pulling back one of the flaps, looked in on a jumble of family photos, with little photo albums scattered throughout. The photos showed me and my sister when we were little. They were the ones he'd lost. But wait, this couldn't have been possible. I was at the changing table right in the middle of a serious diaper changing operation. I couldn't move an inch. My dad and the box were across the room. How could I have known what he was seeing inside the box? It helps my readers if I tell the story exactly the same way I experienced it. Let me think about this again. I'm standing at the changing table, trying to get my squirmy sister's diaper fastened, barely able to glance over at my dad as he opens the box. So the story as I, the main character, experienced should go more like this. I was at the changing table, my sister squirming beneath me, when my dad came into the kitchen and dropped a heavy carton on the kitchen table. I heard him rustling about, and then I heard him mutter, "Unbelievable. Just unbelievable." He looked up from across the room and called, "Remember all those lost photos from our farm? They're all here." Writers, do you see the major adjustment I made in the second version? Only my father could reveal the contents of the box. When writing, I have to step back in time and write from a personal point of view at that time. I can only capture what I saw, heard, or felt from my particular perspective. Once you get used to the concept of stepping back in time and writing only from one perspective, it's easier to spot moments when you fall out of perspective. Let's practice noticing when a writer slips out of his or her perspective by mistake. As you listen to my draft, decide, is the point of view consistent? In which case, give me a thumbs up. Or, did the narrator fall out of one point of view? In that case, thumbs down. I made my way slowly toward the front of the line, as one by one kids in soggy bathing suits sat at the edge of the water slide before disappearing suddenly down the chute. I was next in line, and thumping in my heart was almost audible. I can do this, I thought to myself. I took one step forward. Boys and girls, am I still inside the story, or have I fallen out? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'll continue. Soon I was at the edge of the slide. I leaned forward just enough to peer down below at the small blue rectangle of a pool dotted with the heads of swimmers below. I shut my eyes quickly, dizzied from the height. All right, thumbs up or thumbs down, readers, what do you think? Yep. Should still be thumbs up. I'll continue. I carefully sat down, feeling the cold rush of water beneath me. My hands gripped the edges of the slide. Ready? The attendant said. I think so, I replied, still unsure. My cousin waited at the bottom, wondering what was taking me so long. Now, boys and girls, pay attention to that last sentence. Did I stay in perspective? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Writers, take just 30 seconds to decide on the powerful small moment story you'll begin drafting in today's workshop. If you need help getting a topic, I synthesized our ideas from our temporary chart, strategies for generating personal narrative topics, and added them to the top of our anchor chart, how to write powerful personal narratives. I also added the new technique I just taught you. So right now, think of a topic and think of how you will begin your story. Right now, as you move back to your desk, use this strategy. This strategy can help you move on in your place in writing life. Hold tight onto that picture you have in your mind. Zoom into the tiny details of the place, the ones you can see from exactly where you are in the story. What are you saying? What are you doing? Go ahead, start writing.